Howdy there, folks. Welcome in today's video. Here to flip your flapjacks. Tesla has something going for them right now that is absolutely amazing. And this really hit me, kind of putting all these pieces together here and why this is such a huge deal for Tesla and for Tesla stock. And if you didn't know, I'm obviously a Tesla shareholder, been a Tesla shareholder since about 2018, 2019. And, you know, this amazing company that's just continued to just make amazing progress, grow revenues, grow the amount of vehicles they're selling, keep price points somewhat realistic, and just, change the entire automobile industry from basically internal combustion engines to now every single automaker in the world wants to be an EV company. And it's amazing what they've done, and every single automaker has tried to, follow suit with what Tesla has going on, okay? But there's been something that's happened that's very important for everybody to understand, okay? And that's what we're going to get into in this video, because you're not going to see a press release about what we're going to talk about in this video. But what you got to understand is there's hundreds of millions of people right now that are going to be going through a moment that is an absolute game-changing moment for Tesla specifically because of this specific thing going on right now, okay? So first off, I want to talk about Tesla stock, okay? So obviously in terms of Tesla stock price, I said over a year ago, I said, look for Tesla to have a 1 to 2 year chill out period essentially. And when it was on that massive rise, I know a lot of people are like, come on, man, it's not going to chill out for a year or two. And sure enough, that's exactly what it's done. The stock hasn't really gone anywhere. January of 2021, the stock was $800+. And here today, it's $800 something a share. It's basically for over a year now. It's kind of just chilled out. It went down, it went up, it went all around, but it really hasn't done much of that in a day. And you got to understand, when you go on that sort of epic run, you're going to have a chill out period for a year or two. That's what happens even to the best of the best companies. Amazon's been on the same exact thing. Amazon's had a 1 to 2 year chill out period as well. That one's on about an 18, 19 month chill out period right now. They're getting set up for another massive run in their stock. And Tesla's going to set up very, very well for another massive run as well. Not as epic as this run, but a pretty darn epic run in Amazon is as well. But specifically with Tesla, it's been in this chill out period, but it's ready to kind of go beast mode. So first thing we got to keep in mind, right, is when you think about Tesla, what do you think about? Well, the number one thing is EV company, right? It's the number one electric vehicle company you think about by a mile. And if you are a human being who is thinking about getting an electric vehicle, the first thing you're going to start with is Tesla. And then you might never leave that thought of Tesla. You might just consider whatever Tesla's best for you, right? But let's say you were like, I don't know about Tesla, let me think about other brands. So then you start thinking about other brands, but still you have to compare everything to a Tesla at the end of the day. And so if you're having this thought of, you know what, I think my next vehicle is going to be an electric vehicle, it starts with Tesla and it ends with Tesla at the end of the day. And anywhere in between there, maybe you make a different decision, but the masses are going to make the decision to stick with the number one brand name by a mile. No different than, Apple has an incredible market share in the United States of America, despite there being a million different smartphones out there. Apple commands an amazing market share of around 50% or so. Now, if we think about Tesla, Tesla historically was known as the automaker that was extremely expensive, right? It was like, oh man, it's such expensive cars. But that has changed in a massive, massive way recently. So Model 3 purchase price is around $44,000, $45,000 as of right now. And that's quite an automobile you get for that price point, right? So yeah, no longer is it some crazy price point. The Model Y, which is their other mass market vehicle, because there's two mass market vehicles essentially Tesla sells right now. One's the Model 3, one's the Model Y. Model Y, which is their SUV, starts about $59,000 roughly, okay? So no longer is Tesla known as this crazy expensive vehicle. The average new car sales price has topped $47,000 now in the United States. So basically, the Model 3 is in line with the average new car sales price, and it's actually a little bit, slightly below, which is pretty amazing when you think about it, right? And keep in mind, vehicle prices are continuing to rise and rise and rise. Internal combustion engine cars are going up in price and going up in price for many various reasons. And so, if anything, this average new car sales price could easily continue to go up. And Model 3 is right in line with that, and the Model Y is slightly above that. But it's fairly in line with the average new sales price as well. So which means if that's the average new sales price, right? Tesla's two main mass market vehicles are right in line with where they should be roughly, right? Their car and their SUV. And so Tesla's in a great position here to obviously, put up some insane sales numbers, not just now, but over the coming years. Now, obviously, in the upper end, you have the Model X and you have the Model S, which those attract a different sort of buyer, right? Somebody that considers buying a Model X, that's somebody that's usually considering buying something like a Range Rover. And if you look at the Range Rover's gas mileage, it's like, between 13 in the city to about 20 miles in the city, roughly, and most people drive in the city, right? So, that's kind of rough. They also compete with the Escalade. Somebody that buys a Model X is usually considering an Escalade as well. That's a vehicle that gets about 14 miles a gallon in the city. Like, that's rough, right? Like, that's horrible. Now, if you think about something like the Model S, that's going to compete against, the higher-end Mercedes, the higher-end BMWs, and those sorts of vehicles as well. And those sorts of vehicles usually get anywhere from 15 miles a gallon to maybe 20 miles a gallon in the city as well. Maybe 22, but, usually somewhere on the lower end, right? And so, nonetheless, the vehicles that Tesla competes with, on the higher end, those vehicles all get very, very low gas mileage. And, when you think about even on the mass market side, the Model 3 and the Model Y, those are competing against vehicles that usually get 25 to maybe 30 miles a gallon in the city, roughly, right? Now, if we think about Cybertruck for a moment, Cybertruck is the, most popular product that Tesla's ever had in terms of the hype and excitement around it, right? When it comes to Cybertruck, it's been amazing as far as the pre-order numbers and the excitement around Cybertruck and the mentions, and oh my gosh, okay, and that's a product that's coming either in the back half of this year in 22 or in 2023. And so if we think about Cybertruck, that's going to compete against all the other, big trucks out there, right? And if you look at something like Ford F-Series, for instance, right, which is obviously the most popular truck lineup, 18 in the city, 17 in the city, 18 in the city, 16 in the city, 20 in the city, 19, 17. At the end of the day, Cybertruck, an electric truck, is going to be competing with Silverados and F-Series and other players as well, right? But at the end of the day, those vehicles all get horrible, horrible gas mileage as well, right? And so these are who Tesla's competing against, all these vehicle makers that get really, really bad gas mileage. Now, if we look at what's going on with crude oil, which is basically what affects gas prices, crude oil is going absolutely insane. We haven't seen a move like this in crude oil outside of 2008 and what happened there, essentially, right? Now, the interesting thing with this move in crude oil is gas prices are going to keep going up massively over the next several weeks. Even if oil prices start to chill out, gas prices are still going to rise over the next several weeks. Now, if crude oil continues to spike higher, which we don't know how long this spike could last. I mean, it could continue to go up for days, weeks, dare I say even months. Like that's just crazy to think about if this price continued to spike for like months. But is this really coming down anytime soon? The Russia-Ukraine drama, that could go on for a while. That's probably not ending. The U.S. is considering shutting off all oil imports from Russia in general. And United States gets around roughly 8% from Russia. That's another thing that could end up spiking prices even more, right? And you think about the demand for oil, it's going to go up a ton. A lot of people have been cooped up at home for 2 years or so. A lot of people are planning vacations this summer, planning on going places. Airlines for their fuel. Airlines are about to get busy again. All these big offices opening back up this spring. That's a huge deal. Travel's opening back up for real. And so when it comes to crude oil, I mean, where's the end in sight? Where's the end in sight? This could easily continue to rise for a while outside of a massive change. And you got to understand, when it comes to fracking, when it comes to, getting oil wells up and running in mass, right? It takes a bit of time. You have this lag time. Sometimes it's, at least a few months. Sometimes it's like a year. And so if you're hoping that magically, just a ton more supply can come on the market, it's not happening in the short term. It can happen 6 months from now. It can happen 9 months from now, 12 months from now. But it's not happening right now. which means essentially we're in the situation where gas prices are likely just going to continue to go to prices we've never seen before, which is scary, absolutely scary. And I'm not just talking about, in recent times, right? Everybody got real used to paying $2 to $3 a gallon at the pump for years. People got real used to that, and it was like, was there really that much of a kick to get an EV if you're paying $2 a gallon or whatever? It's like, whatever, $2.50. We got real spoiled by low oil prices for years, and that's all coming to a massive end now. Look at this out of the New York Times. Gas prices in the United States climbed above $4 a gallon. The national average price on Sunday was $4 a gallon, approaching records set in 2008. No, who does this hit? This hits the people that control basically all the money. If you think about it from a context of like, who's spending all the money out there, right? It's people buying all the iPhones and people buying all those Amazon packages and people that spend all their time on Google and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. It's the middle class. They're the ones that run the country when it comes to spending. And without those folks, you got no spending, okay? Because you have a certain amount of people that are in poverty, like let's say that make less than $40,000 a year in the United States, and let's say you got another segment of folks that make $500,000 plus a year and have net worths in the millions of dollars, right? You got those two segments, but they're not who really runs the show when it comes to actual spending, right? It's this group, the lower middle class, which I really consider as people that make between $40,000 and $60,000 a year. You have the middle class, which I consider making, anywhere from about $65,000 to about $100,000 a year. That's the true middle class. And you have the upper middle class that makes between about $100,000 and $200,000, okay? That's most of America. The high majority of America makes between $40,000 and $200,000 a year, okay? And so these are the folks that when they go to the pump, they're hit. And if you're talking about $4 gas, dare I say $5 gas, right? Dare I say $6 gas? This is going to be a permanent scar in every single person's brain, right? A permanent scar that's in their brain as they go to that gas station and they got to fill up their vehicle because the far majority, like 95, 97% plus of people are still driving internal combustion engines that use gas. And most of these vehicles don't get good gas mileage, right? When they go to that pump and they're paying double the price, triple the price, whatever that they used to pay, maybe quadruple the price depending upon when it was, right? It's going to be permanently etched in folks' mind, and they're going to be like, wow, this sucks, and this sucks massively. I really got to pay this sort of price. Look at this. Average California gas price is now over $5. Some of these gas stations in California are now hitting $6 plus per gallon of gas. And the thing is, we don't know when this is going to end. Like, this could easily go for weeks longer or months longer, or worst case scenario, maybe a year. And think about that for a moment. That's the type of stuff that people are not just going to forget. This isn't just going to leave people's minds. It's not like an erase button like, oh, I remember the time I was paying $7 a gallon for gas. No, that's not leaving people anytime soon. And so when you're looking at these sort of gas prices, this is going to be a permanent scar in people's mind. I remember back in the day, I used to, my first ever car was this old Mercedes. It was like a 1977. The heat didn't work. The AC didn't work. Nothing worked in that car, but it got me around town. And that car used to get about 8 miles per gallon. And I remember, driving in 2008, and every time I drove anywhere, I was like, there goes $10 just to drive down the street. There goes $20 to go drive over here. Oh, it's $25 to drive to my girlfriend's house that's over there. And every single time I drove, I just thought, this is horrible. Like, this sucks. I get 8 miles to gallon in this car. Gas prices were $4 or whatever, and it cost a fortune to literally go anywhere because, like, gas was so dang expensive. And then after that, we had gas prices be very low for a long time. And that's all ending now. And every single person out there is looking at this and they're like, oh my gosh. I took my parents out to dinner the other night, and we also went to like Topgolf and some other fun stuff, and drove around town in Arizona. And I took them in the Model X, right? And my mom, she's in the back, and we were doing so much driving. Like, I don't know, we probably drove, 50 miles that night or 70 miles or some insane amount driving from the, where I live to the east side, from the east side back over the west side to this other part of town. And she's like, man, it must be nice to have an electric vehicle. She's like, if we were in my vehicle, we would have spent probably $50, $60 of gas already, right? And that's the way folks are thinking, especially when gas prices continue to go up like this. Everybody out there's thinking, man, gas prices are going insane. They're not stopping anytime soon. So, you know what? Damn it, for my next vehicle, it's going to freaking be an EV. And that's exactly how all these folks are thinking right now that are in this situation. By the way, get some free stocks from Moomoo if you want some free money. Check out the pinned comment down there. That's pretty dang awesome. So look at this. Any deposit right now, one free stock, you get $3 to $3,500 stock, $9 to $3,500 stock, plus one free share of NEO right now. It's pretty amazing. So check out pinned comment down there. That's like some money to offset, all this dang gas situation right now. But every single person is, when they go to that pump, they're going to think, my next vehicle is going to be an electric vehicle. And every single time they see an electric vehicle, they're going to think, man, that must be nice. It must be nice to have an EV and not have to pay these insane gas prices. And so you got to understand, this is something that will help be like a supercharger to Tesla's business. Because this is something even us Tesla bulls, I didn't even have this in my projections. I did not have in my projections that there would be a situation where gas prices would go to potentially record highs. I didn't have that in my cards, okay? That's like a whole supercharger effect for Tesla that I didn't ever had. And now with this situation happening, here's the thing, the more oil goes up and the more gas prices go up, the more of a supercharged effect this is going to be for Tesla, where people say, screw internal combustion engines. The next time I'm buying a new car, whether that's a month from now, a year from now, 3 years from now, whenever, the next time I do, it's an electric vehicle. I'm not thinking twice about it. And if you're thinking electric vehicle, the conversation starts with Tesla and it ends with Tesla. And so that's the beautiful thing. And so this is going to be something that, people like myself bought, a lot of people that had bought Teslas in the past either bought them because they're cool or because of, environmental reasons, maybe something like that. But now people are going to be thinking about buying Teslas because they're like, dude, I don't want to pay $5 a gallon for gas. My local gas station down the street is $6 a gallon. And I use X amount of gallons per week. If I drive an electric vehicle, that's a massive cost savings to me on a daily basis. That's the way people are going to start thinking. And so then the conversation starts to, do I want to get a Model 3? Do I want to get a Model Y? Do I want to get a Cybertruck? Or do I want to get some other kind of EV? And so that's the most bullish thing for Tesla that's happened for Tesla in its history, to be quite honest. It was always a wild card, but it's actually playing out now. And so that will be that. And, Tesla's just in an amazing sweet spot. I'll just put it that way. Regardless if this thing only lasts a few weeks, the longer it goes, the more demand there will be for Tesla, the more orders there'll be for Tesla, and Tesla could end up, having like a year, 2-year type backlog, which is absolutely crazy to think about. So yeah, look for more Tesla gigafactories coming, out there soon. Let's just put it that way. They're already expanding China. Germany should get up and rolling real soon here. Austin's amazing opportunity. The Nevada Gigafactory, I think they're going to need to do a lot more there. Fremont, they're making vehicles left and right in Fremont. It's incredible. Like the numbers they put out of Fremont, if you haven't looked into those, look into those. It's ridiculous. And this is not anytime soon, and this is going to be something that you just extra pushes Tesla business for years and years to go in the future. Much love as always, guys, and have a great day.